Hell's Paradise episode 8 and episode 9 review. So I actually skipped episode 8 into making like a separate video because you know what, if I looked at the story element of it, there wasn't really much that happens in that episode. So I said, let me wait for 9 and I'll do them together, right? So starting off with episode 9, rest in peace to my boy Tensa. So he eventually faces off with a Tensen, him, his master, as well as Nurugai. And man, it was brutal. Okay, so we do get a bit of a backstory about Tensa, which is that he used to be like a homeless kid who used to get into trouble all the time and gave no fucks. Okay, eventually his master did induct him, trained him in the art of the samurai, and made him like a respective person who can integrate into society, right? But so now they get sent off to Hell's Paradise. He's accompanying Nurugai, and then while they're on the beach, remember they were trying to find a current out of the island. Man, that one version of the Tensen pulls up and she goes crazy on those two boys. Okay, they do try to put up some defense, but it's impossible. If you're not somebody like a Gabimaru or a Yuzu or a condemned criminal with like superhuman strength or a ninjutsu, you're definitely not standing a chance against the Tensen, right? So he manages to fend them off, cut their eye off, chop off their limbs, their head, and they make a run for it. But it was pointless because these people have like instant generation, and within like 2 seconds he was back in the picture. And fortunately, Tensa's master pulls through in the scene and manages to save both of them. Now, dude, one thing that I did realize is that all of these the monitors from the Yamada clan, all of them actually have like varying strength. These guys are not equal at all. Okay, as we can see that some of the people amongst the monitors are actual masters. I would have thought that the smart thing to do was to have like relatively strong monitors accompany these condemned criminals, because some of these guys are literally just being sent to their deaths. And then we get like a second showdown between Tensa as well as that Tensen. And man, it's a wrap. That lady, doesn't regenerate so fast. Kept on hitting my boy. And the blows were so damaging that she literally like punched this dude, and especially it looks like in vital parts. And yes, my boy put up like a strong fight, but it wasn't enough. We could tell that this is a losing battle. And for me, the only way that I could see that these guys surviving was if probably somebody like Gabimaru came through and helped them, all three of them, because even Nurugai doesn't have any strength from what I'm seeing. She's just a normal girl, okay? Now, hopefully Tensa's master as well as Nurugai can regroup with people like Gabimaru so that they can get some form of strength. If they're operating in a bigger group like that, some of the things they could support is like tactical, keeping an eye out, and also contributing towards like locating the elixir. But when it comes to hand-in-hand combat with the Tensen, they definitely do not stand a chance. Okay, that's it for episode number 8. Now moving on to episode number 9. Oh dog, my boy Gabimaru gets impatient, so he does then decide to move ahead and go to what's that inner circle of the island where the elixir is said to exist. And immediately as he gets there, he finds that one Tensen that just took out Tensa, and they get into such a beautiful battle, bro. It goes to show you that Gabimaru is definitely not equal, okay? And this is something that is well realized, something that I do have to comment about the episode, which is that guys like Gabimaru, the ninjutsu, etc., they're not human, okay? They were trained to transcend their human capabilities. Like Gabimaru and these guys are going on a full DBZ type of fight, okay? Blows after blows after blows. And this Tensa is even using like super strength. They use that one glowy punch. They managed to hit Gabimaru. Actually, a couple of them, right? Hit Gabimaru. My boy Gabimaru is about to pass out. But, Gabimaru just can't stop thinking about, getting back to his wife. And it just gives him that little, that little kick, that little boost that he needs to get back into the fight. And at some point, they literally have Gabimaru like passed out, okay? And then I think it's Shinobi rule number 19, which is that if you're about to die, you will instinctively try to take out the enemy together with you. And this is where we see Gabimaru's eyes right out and he's just going in. And I mean, you know, even Asen Blaze wasn't enough, right? You can recall that Gabimaru tried to burn that Tensen, but you know, it didn't work. They just shut off that carbon on their damn bodies and got back at Gabimaru. But Gabimaru dude at some point literally had that Tensen on the ground, beating them to a pulp, okay? To a point where by now they had to transform into another version, right? They, now in this state they look ugly as hell. It's they have, you know, that lady had like 2 heads upside down, screaming like a damn flower creature, okay, and using all types of abilities. Now we're talking lightning, we're talking like blasts. You know, Gabimaru was barely holding on against him, and then fortunately that little young girl came through, protected Gabimaru, and then they were shot down a hill so that Gabimaru can go recruit. Now, remember that Gabimaru, when the episode started, he was all about, I don't have time for this. There's no time for planning. Well, after that damn fight, after he got the bricks beat out of him, all of a sudden now he wants to go back and start planning, okay? Which is the wise thing to do. Guys, you've got numbers, combine together and actually work as a unit, because there's like 5 other Tensen, and there is no way that you guys are going to be able to pick up those guys. I mean, defeat those guys if you're not working together as one unit, okay? And the other thing that I loved as well is exploring the past of the village in that island, that those guys used to live there. And then when the Tensen, I think, arrived, they turned into trees, okay? And the rate of deterioration is not tied to your age. So it doesn't necessarily mean because you're older, you are the one who's going to turn into a tree faster than the other ones, which was quite interesting and quite sad, okay? And then they all die in this one position where they're praying to the Tensen so that they can get led into that heaven-like place. Man, that was some bull, okay? And then the Tensen, we do get to see their layer. It's looking quite nice. They're chilling there, they're drinking. And the messed up thing is that these guys can actually change genders depending on what they want. And the gender is dependent on how they express, okay, as human beings. Some of them prefer to express as women and the others prefer to express as men, even though they can swap between. And the one thing that I did notice is that when they change genders, is usually correlated with strength, okay? So when they move towards the more male side of things, I think they become stronger, because we saw that one Tensen that Chobe as well as Toma ran into, and then again the second one who was fighting Gabimaru, he also turned into like a man-like figure, okay? Now the one thing that we find out is that these guys are actually drinking the elixir, bro. That's how they're able to stay immortal, and that's how they replenish their strength. We see it, it's there, it's looking colorful. So if the guys can actually manage to get in there, they will be able to find the elixir, right? But yeah, the one thing that I will say about Hell's Paradise is that the odds look so stacked against our protagonists, man. You know, I'm just so worried about every time they have to go and counter these Tensen, okay? It's like, who's gonna take who? How are they even gonna survive? I mean, we've got Sagiri, we've got Gabimaru, we've got Yuzu, okay? And then we've got the dragon and the dragon's monitor. So I suspect all those 5 are relatively strong. So probably Yuzu, Gabimaru, and the dragon can take on maybe 3, okay? And the remaining guys can go 2-2, you know, to sort of even the odds, because there's no way that these guys can take on the Tensen unless you're somebody like the Gabimarus and the Users, right? People who are actually ninjutsu and have like super strength. But quite interesting. I'm not gonna lie, when Hell's Paradise started, it was a bit slow, but now it's definitely picking up the pace and I'm enjoying it extremely. But yeah, that's it for Hell's Paradise episode 8 and 9 review. If I missed anything, definitely leave it in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like, and if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll check you guys in the next episode. I'm out.